Welcome back to my Tech Stack Learning channel. So today's session is majorly on the async, different ways of async scenarios we can use within LangChain. Then we will be covering a invoke, a batch, async batch, and concurrency with the detailed explanation with the examples in this session. So stay tuned till the end of the session. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please go ahead and subscribe. Let's get started. So, um, what is async LangChain? Async in LangChain, right? So why do we need that? So LLM calls will be usually having the input and output bound, right? Like waiting for the API responses, right? So that async execution improves the performance by running multiple requests concurrently, right? So that is one of the useful why we need async here, right? And this is mainly used for chatbots or document processing or any pipelines or multi-user apps, right? So that these are the why we need async. It's mainly for these reasons we have to use the async like ainvoke, batching, or the concurrency related methods. So now let's see in the real examples, right? How does this async works? Async invoke, single request, batch request, right? So let me create an file for us to explore, and I will just paste the um, default imports which we need, right? Basically, there's these env variables and things, correct? So now, since we are using async, I also have to just have this particular thing up, so that in Windows usually what happens, it has these issues of the event loop. So I just have to add this statement for all the async related code. Okay, now what I'll do here is, first part is using async we will try with invoke. Okay, basically single uh, async call. So here what we'll do, import asyncio. Okay, then rest all we have already imported what is required. Then I will be creating a function called main, one sec, main. Okay, then what I'll do here is result equal to await llm dot a invoke. uh, then I'll say, tell me a fun fact about space in 4 words. Okay, this is my LLM call, and then print result dot content. Okay, now what I'll do here is I'll just run this asyncio dot run of main function. Okay, so here what exactly happens is a invoke makes a single this is dot, sorry, it's my mistake. So a invoke makes a single async request, ideal when you don't want your app to block while waiting for the response, right? That is where it will be helpful. So let me run this Python async example. Asyncio is not, I should import this here. Okay, let's see how is it working. So black holes are invisible. So this has given you the single call, right? Now what we will try here is using async batch, that is a batch. Okay, so here what I'll do is I'll create another function called main batch, and what I'll do here is I'll put a prompts, like array of prompts. Okay, so I'll have give me a joke about programmers in 2 words. Okay, that is one of mine, and then I'll say who, I'll ask another one, who invented AI. Okay, these are the two prompts which I'm going to run. Now what I'll do is results, I'll put it as batch equal to await LLM dot a batch of prompts, right? Then I'll have for I comma r in enumerate of results batch. I'm going to print the results. Print now response, I'll say I plus 1 colon, then I'll say r dot content, right? Then what I'll do, asyncio dot run of main batch. Okay, so this one I'll comment it for now. Okay, I don't want this to be run, so let's run this and see. So here what we have did, a batch is like async plus batch, right? So it will send all the prompts concurrently, which actually saves times compared to the sequential request. So you can see it has given syntax error. Why it has given syntax error? But for the second response it has given. Let's give it a try again. Response 1, I plus 1 r dot content results main batch. Let's run again and see. Why do you prefer spark attack? Because this is blah blah. So it could be the prompt issue. Okay, so here if it has async with batch and sends all the prompts concurrently, which actually saves the time compared to the sequential response, right? Then comes, let's now see sync batching versus async batching, right? So what happens here is we will just see sync results equal to LLM dot batch. This is just purely sync. Tell me about Python in 2 words. Okay, and then I'll say tell me about Java in 2 words. Okay, then what I'll do, I'll just invoke, I'll show the response for r in sync results, then print of r dot content. Okay, now this is for sync. Now I'll do for async, right? So async, it will be same as the above one, but I can write it differently this way also. Then I'll say async results equal to await LLM dot a batch of I'll copy paste the same. Okay, these are my two prompts. So what I'll do here, once the results are in, then what I'll do for are in async results, then I'll print r dot content, right? Then I'll say asyncio dot run of async batch. So your difference is the batch basically it will be sequential wait for each response to come in, whereas async batch is like uh, it will be parallel, it won't wait, right? So let's just I'll comment this off and let's see how is it responding. You can see it has waited for this response to come in. Altogether it has responded, whereas this one has responded back to back, in the sense it did not it parallelly executed, right? So that's the difference between the sync batching and async batching, right? So now let's see the concurrency with asyncio.gather. So you can combine async invoke and async gather to run multiple LLM tasks in parallel. Okay, so we will see how we can do that. So I'll define a method query model, okay, where I have taking the input as prompt, then response equal to await LLM dot a invoke async invoke prompt. Okay, then return. This is purely the async single call, right? Single LLM call. Next, I'll define another function called main. Then I'll say tasks. Okay, these are my three tasks, right? So I'll say query model of, this is my translate hello into Spanish. Okay, then I'll put another task like query model of what is capital of Japan. Okay, so these are my tasks. Now what I'll do, run task, I have to run results equal to await asyncio or asyncio dot gather of tasks. Okay, then what I'll do is for I response in enumerate, I have to print, right? Enumerate of results. Then I'll say print task. Then I'll say I plus 1, then colon, then I'll say response. Okay. Then I'll say asyncio dot run of main. Maybe I'll just change to gather. Okay, main to gather, so that we don't. So what we are doing here, for handling the multiple user queries at once, processing chunks of documents in parallel, and building the things, right? So we'll see the results. How is it working? You can see, okay, I think I haven't commented this. Just a second. Yeah, so if you see the response, so it has called this the task one hola. It has given the response, and it has given what's the capital of Japan. So you can combine this to run multiple LLM tasks in parallel, right? So that is how the concurrency works. So the next we will see async with chains, right? So we will see async with chains. So what we can do here is, I think I don't have prompt template imported here, so let me import prompts, import prompt template. Then I need a LLMChain also. From LangChain dot chains, import LLM chain. Okay, then I have to define my prompt. So prompt template dot from template of write a short poem about topic in one line. Okay, I don't want to exhaust my tokens, that's why I'm just giving the limitation in terms of the output what it is going to give, right? Then I create chain, LLM chain of LLM equal to LLM, prompt equal to prompt, right? Then I'll define the main function. This one I'll call it as main chain. Okay, because we have so many mains in this function, right? So that's the reason. So await chain dot invoke of async invoke of then topic. So what is my topic? I can give the topic as AI or whatever you want to give it, right? Then print poem. So here I will result of text. Okay, and then what we will do, asyncio dot run of main. Okay, so here we are combining with async execution with chains, right? So let's see. Oh, I haven't commented this. Let me comment this out. What is main is not defined. Okay. Main chains. Okay. Um, so you can see it has given the details, right? So this is how it works for the async with chains. Now async document processing, it is more or less same. It's just that you have to use the gather and things. So I already have the code with me. Let me just copy that. So this one I'll comment. Okay, so this is basically async document processing example. So here I have like 3 documents, and then I have given summarize. This is a prompt and invoke prompt. Then I'll just do a gather the number of doc, and then I'll run it, right? So this is how it works for the async scenarios, different types of ways to handle that. So that's the end of the sessions where we have learned async single request by using ainvoke, async batch request with abatch, which is like a parallel thing, and run many LLM calls concurrently, that is asyncio.gather, right? So it works well with the chains too, like LLMChain, sequential chain, or any other chains. It improves the throughput and speed in the real world apps, right? So that's about today's sessions. And if you like my channel, please go ahead and subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and if you have any specific topic, put it in the comment box.